Hi there, my name is Ian Wild. I am the sales manager for the Crompton Instruments brand of products. Crompton Instruments is a brand name under the group of companies of TE Connectivity. What I would like to do today is give a quick 20-minute presentation on basic overview of the Crompton Instruments portfolio of products, along with homing in specifically on the new digital metering system, the Integra 122 platform of products. A little bit of background on Crompton Instruments. The Crompton Instruments product range represents a very large offering of power measurement control, protection instruments and transformers for the power industry. The manufacturing plant in the UK has been around for over 100 years and all in all an experience of 125 years of trading history, manufacturing and designing of metering solutions. The Crompton Instruments portfolio of products, as you can see from the slide, is very wide and a variety of different products in the range. If we start at the top of the slide realistically with the Integra metering systems, which is our digital metering solution product range, we move a little bit to the right and the Integra 1500, 1600 series, which was an early range of multifunction meters that we manufactured. Onto the analog DIN meters, short scale, long scale DIN meters, power meters, 48, 72, 96 and 144 millimeters. Showing the same analog metering inputs but different designs. Then you've got our Challenger series, our ANSI 007 meters, and onto a range of sealed meters which are gas filled, hermetically sealed, high shock meters, mainly used in the military industry or in very harsh environments. We do a range of DIN 96 synchroscopes with check sync relays with dead buzz bars, on to further more common products with kilowatt hour meters, which are a direct connected range, which are single phase and three phase with pulse and modbus outputs. These are MID approved, which is acceptable for billing applications. Onto some of the DC shunts that we produce. We do a wide range of DC shunts from 10 amps up to probably 10,000 amps, which are made to order. Various outputs from 50 millivolts, 60 millivolts, 75 millivolts, up to 150 millivolts for all DC applications. We do a little bit of a range of 96 by 48 digital meters. Input parameters vary AC, DC and frequency. Moving to the left hand bottom corner, we do a range of protector relays, which is a tripping function for amps, volts, frequency, phase balance, unbalance, synchro check, reverse power, earth leakage relay, and that's just to name a few. Old historical products, if I'm honest, is our transducer range. First started manufacture probably in the 1970s, but still has a large outcome in the market with most outputs like 4 to 20 milliamp, 0 to 10 volts, and this is converted from AC and DC power measurement from currents, kilowatts, watts, VARs, VA, power factor, and basically transduces the input to a DC output, which is more manageable in relation to the range. We have a very large portfolio of current transformers, from ring type to molded case single phase, molded case three phase, and a large part of it is split core CTs. The CTs generally go from 1 amp right the way up to 6,000 amp and further on applications. A lot of people use a selector switch with a current transformer and an analog meter. We do a range of current transformers, and then back to the top is back to the Integra 0200, 1200 and metering solutions. Where are Crompton Instruments products used? A very wide variety of industry specific locations, including switchgear, which is low voltage, medium and high voltage, along with synchronizing systems, motor control centers, distribution boards with lighting and power, on the outgoing ways. Generator companies all have power metering involved in their sets now. Data centers, a large usage of power quality metering. The marine industry, Ministry of Defence, any energy sub-metering, control panels, utility, and also electric vehicle charging has the availability inside the charging system to monitor the power. And that's just to name but a few. What I want to do today is just to delve a bit deeper into the brand new UK manufactured and designed Integra 122X meters. The new Integra 122 series is part of the long established Integra digital metering system family, which has been around for over 30 years now. The Integra range is a range of multifunction power meters to measure, display and communicate over 100 parameters. The power quality meter, which is our 2270, now is a true power quality and displays way over the 100 parameters. These products can be in the choice of LED or LCD displays and have a choice of DIN, DIN rail and ANSI style cases. A lot of the difference between the meters is based on the outputs as well, where we have analog outputs. Pulse and Modbus is more standard, but we also offer Ethernet, Profibus, BACnet and Longworks communications. Okay, back on to the main features of the Integra 122X series. As you can see, it's got a high contrast backlit LCD display. The installation is really easy. It's a basic plug and socket connectivity, and to mount in the panel it is a snap fit panel mounting, which is to IP54. Basically there is no corner clamps to add to the product. It pushes in and it snaps and holds it in. The facility on the display has a backlight time which is dimmable, so after 10 seconds or to 120, which is programmable in the unit, the backlight fades and it re-energizes once you press the button, so it lights up again. Orange finger protection covers with tamper-proof facility are supplied as standard, which we'll go into in more detail, and also has the facility to reverse the CT connections on the 1222 product and swap phase 1 to phase 3 around pending the outgoing way on the Integra 1221. Two models available. As I said, the plug and socket is a 1222 and the RGA12 is the Integra 1221. We will go into more detail on that shortly. Some additional features for the product. It is a design manufactured to IEC standards compliant. It has the facility of programming the meter to be single phase, 3-phase 3-wire and 3-phase 4-wire. It can be self-powered or alternatively have an auxiliary powered versions. The VT and the CT ratios can be programmed into the meter, so this can be used for say 132, 33 or 11 kV or even 415 volt on the low voltage. CT ratios programmable with a secondary of 1 amp or 5 amp. It has the facility on the kilowatt hour to do the import and export readings, and also combine the two to be a total reading, that is in kilowatt hour and kilovar hours. As standard, the outputs has Modbus and also 2 outputs with the option of an Ethernet connection. The IP54 enclosure is standard. We also offer an optional IP64 protection kit which will seal it to panel, as I said, to IP64. In addition to the display, the always on display, the AOD values, does have the load per phase. If you look at the drawing and the picture on the left, it has a display of parameter per phase for the total load. It has a system power factor quick view bar. As you can see in the middle there, it's the bar is on unity at the minute of 1, so that's a very quick indication of the power factor, and also has the kilowatt hour energy, which is one of the main parameters, fully displayed all the time. Okay, to the parameters, what are displayed actually on the 4-line display. As you can see, the voltage will have phase to neutral and phase to phase on there. The current will have the phase again, line 1, line 2, 3, also maximum demand, and also it will display a calculated neutral current. Power factor, it does a system power factor, it also does power factor per phase, and as mentioned on the previous slide, it has got a quick look bar, which is the rail, so you can see if you are near unity power factor. Harmonic distortion, it has on there per phase on the voltage and per phase on current. Does the system frequency, and also offers the additional facility of phase sequence, so you can check if your voltage and your current are in correct phase sequence. Onto the power readings, you've got active power, which is the kilowatts per phase system and maximum demand, reactive, which is the K of R, which is per phase system and maximum demand, and also the apparent, which is the VA, again per phase system and maximum demand. Onto the kilowatt hour, kilovar hour, which is the active and reactive energy, also states per phase for any active and reactive, total import, total export as a separate reading, and also we'll do the system, so that it'll take away the export and the import and give you total system readings for active and reactive energy. As mentioned, there is two models, the Integra 1221 and the Integra 1222, and these comes in two versions. One is an auxiliary powered version and the other one is self-powered. Outputs for the self-powered do have pulse and Modbus as standard. If you need an auxiliary powered version meter, it only has the Modbus. Okay, getting down to the actual connectivity of the meter. Obviously the two models, the Integra 1221 is to the left. As you can see, this is an RJ12 CT plug-in connector. Simple to use. We have a range of CTs that has a lead as standard supplied. Plug the CT lead into the meter and that's as easy as it gets. So the one on the left is the 1221, which is an RJ12 CT plug-in connector, and the one on the right is the Integra 1222, which is the 1 amp and 5 amp CT input wiring. They are plug-in connectors to make it easier to connect the wiring, then plug the actual plug into the meter. And as you can see, to the left and to the right of the main plug, there is two screw terminals which connects it into the meter for safety, so the plug does not release, which obviously could cause high voltage there. So the safety side is accounted for. On the back of the meter, as you can see on there, we've done the top two connectors to the right hand side of each meter, which is the input one where we said the RJ12 and the 5 amp or 1 amp CT. If you look to the left of the input connectors, that's where you've got the Modbus and the pulse connectors on the top row. The Modbus is the center connector and the pulse is to the left hand side of the meters. As we mentioned before, if it is an auxiliary powered meter, the pulse changes to the auxiliary connection terminals, which is clearly identified on the label. At the bottom of the meters, plug-in connectors as well for ease of installation. You've got a voltage in and voltage out connector. So once you've got your three phases into one of the panels, you can then daisy chain into out for the voltage. So no requirement for separate fuses and separate wiring for each outgoing way. So you can basically daisy chain all the way down the panel, voltage in, voltage out, and it will power the meter as a three-phase unit. As we mentioned on the previous slide, the products do have a voltage in and voltage out connectors. To make it easier for installation, we also can provide looms to satisfy the daisy chain needs. So what we do is we've got a Q2C VFO loom, which is basically the fuse to the voltage in to the first meter, and then from then we can have a Q2C VMM, which is a voltage meter to meter loom that can therefore then daisy chain the voltage down the panel for the outgoing ways of each meter. Different lengths, as you can see, 600mm up to 2 meters is our stocking policy. We can make different looms to length if needed, but we feel they're the commonest sort of loom lengths that are required. As we mentioned on the previous slides, the product comes as standard with the orange terminal covers, which relates to the colour of T connectivity. These terminal covers are removable, so the product can be installed in the product wired and then the terminal covers clipped on afterwards. If you look to where the orange cover meets the black casing, on either side there is two little white holes where, if required, a tamper-proof seal can be fitted onto the meter, just in case anybody does break the seal, you know somebody has been into the product. On the picture to the left, we mentioned how easy it was to install the product. If you look where the arrow is pointing, that is the small little easy push ratchets where you basically put the meter in, it snap connects, so there is no additional means of corner clamps or additional labor to fit it into the panel. The product as standard is sealed into the meter at IP54 to panel. However, we have an optional IP64 sealing kit available, part number as documented on the slide, INT-IP6X. If you look to the photograph on the left, you will see there is two additional V clamps which are lockable ratchet to push to the back of the panel for a firmer fit. And in addition to the lockable panel clamps, there is, on the picture on the right, a neoprene sealing gasket that fits around the meter, which obviously pushes to the panel to give a firmer fit, so to enhance the IP rating to IP64. The Integra 1221 and 1222, as we mentioned, does come with Modbus and pulsed output as standard. However, we have designed a module for the back of the products, which is an Ethernet module, part number OPT-ETH. Basically simply clips onto the back of unit, configures, and then you drop the RJ45 cable in place. Along with any metering installation, you will require current transformers. Two types of product mentioned, the 1221 and 1222, comes with a range of current transformers. The Integra 1221, the RJ range of current transformers, we have a vast range of RJ12 current transformers, come, as we mentioned, with the lead 1.5 meters, ratios 40 amp up to 80 amp, and as you can see on the table, each three-phase CT comes in 4 different sizes with a 25mm center between the phases, which is in line with all molded case circuit breaker manufacturers. Next size up goes to 35mm centers, next again 45mm, and finally 70mm between the centers of the bus bars. In addition, we are currently designing a single phase versions, which the single phase should go from 40 amp up to 160 amp. These RJ12 CTs will only work with the INT 1221 products. If you've got any 1 amp or 5 amp CTs, split core, 3-phase, molded case, ring type CTs, any 1 amp or 5 amp CT will work with the Integra 1222 functionality. When you've got both of them in the panel, they will look and function exactly the same. I hope you enjoyed the short presentation, as I say, on the overview of Crompton's and in particular the new products manufactured in the UK. Just a last slide on the EMEA contacts. Yes, we are part of TE.com. I knew we were able to find us on www.te.com, but the Crompton Instruments brand also has its own website, www.cromptoninstruments.com. As you can see from the slide, there is a customer service numbers and the email address, my number and also email address, and also in addition to mine there's Jonathan Davey, who's one of our key account managers, and Craig Johnson, who is our product manager. If you require any further information, do not hesitate to give us a call or email us, or if not, if you do look at the Crompton Instruments website, these has a vast array of the product specifications, brochures, software downloads and installation manuals. So I hope you did find it of interest, and as we say one more time, if you need anything, please do not hesitate to get in contact.